Hello everyone, my name is Anya Dobelinska, and for this presentation I chose the topic Advancement in Bionic Prostheses, bridging the gap between technology and human anatomy. I chose this topic because nowadays many individuals experience the loss of body parts due to accidents, bone conditions, wars, and so on. These people are deprived of something that most people take for granted. However, with the rapid advancements in technology, scientists and engineers are continuously striving to create prosthetic devices that can not only replace missing human body parts, but also replicate their functions. While these metal body parts replace the missing human body parts, it is exciting to see to what extent technology may act the same way as the actual body parts. In this presentation, we will define prosthesis and bionic prosthesis, look at the history of prosthesis, check what careers deal with it, explore the progress made in developing bionic prosthesis that aim to closely mimic the form and function of natural limbs, mainly focusing on as per bionic hand and bionic leg prosthesis, and even address the challenging issue of restoring vision through bionic eye prosthesis. And at the end, we will assume what waits for us in the future. So let's start. What is bionic prosthesis? At first, the prosthesis is an artificial device that is designed to replace a missing or not functioning body part. The prosthetic field had significant advancement in recent years, with an increasing focus on creating bionic prostheses that closely mimic the functionality and appearance of natural body human parts. So they're commonly used to replace limbs, such as arms or legs, but they can also be used for other body parts like hands, feet, ears, and even facial features, which is more on the plastic surgery side, so we won't talk much about it. They can be created using a variety of materials, including but not limited to plastic, metals, and composite materials. The main goal is to improve the quality of life for individuals who have lost their limbs or senses, such as vision due to different reasons. So let's take a look at the history of prosthetics just to get to know it. So in our time, prosthetics can be controlled almost by the power of mind. However, our ancestors, hundreds and thousands of years ago, manually crafted iron hands, wooden legs, and other structures that replaced limbs. So the history of prosthetics goes back thousands of years, with evidence of their use in ancient civilizations. Initially, prosthetics were simple and elementary compared to the advanced devices available today. So they were often just wooden limbs or other basic materials, and their function was primarily to just replace lost limbs, just by good looking, or body parts without much of functionality. Also, just wanted to mention that probably most people are very familiar with the image of a pirate with a hook hand because of all the movies and images. Yet it is more of a fictional representation rather than a common historical reality, like, of course, a wooden leg, which is more realistic. Let's start from 1000 BC in ancient Egypt, which is one of the earliest recorded references to prosthetic limbs. The ancient Egyptians are known to have used wooden and leather prosthetic toes and fingers, as you can see in the top picture. There are different theories to why would they need prosthetic toes at that time. I will mention three of them. So first, all toes were needed to maintain balance when the Egyptians carried stuff on their heads. Second reason might be that the thumb was needed to wear Egyptian sandals, which looked a lot like our time flip-flops. And short Egyptian nobles needed toes and fingers for beautiful postures and full appearance. Similarly, there are references to prosthetic limbs in ancient Greek and Roman history, including a famous example from around 300 BC, which describes a soldier who used an iron hand after losing his own in a battle, who was Marcus Sergius, a Roman general in the Second Punic War, who was famous as the first documented user of a prosthetic hand. He had a metal hand that was constructed in the way so he was able to hold his shield in a battle. You can see it on the black and white picture. It doesn't have the shield with it, but you can probably imagine how he holds it. Following Oruk race, known as Barbarossa or Redbeard, lost his left hand in a battle and then got a silver prosthetic device instead, which earned him the nickname Silver Arm. Then, during the Renaissance period, in the 16th century, a significant advancement was made in prosthetics. Amboy Pare, he didn't have any problems with limbs, but he was a French military surgeon, made notable contributions to the field of surgical amputation and the design of limb prosthetics for arms and legs. His work included the development of more functional and aesthetically pleasing prosthetic limbs, with adjustable safety straps, which made prosthetics more comfortable and more good-looking. You can observe the example of his work on the left picture. So let's go back to our time. There is a man who developed a prosthetic hand using Lego, becoming the first person to independently assemble a fully functional prosthetic hand from a Lego constructor. His name is David Aguilar Amfu. He was born with a condition that left his right arm and pectoral muscles underdeveloped. So this condition is called creative streak and Poland syndrome. And at the age of 18, he created the prosthetic arm out of Lego. Two of the main advances of modern prosthetics are then functionality and lightness, as they are now mostly made of light material compared to mainly metal prosthetics of past times. What are the career paths for bionic prosthetics? Working in the field of bionic prosthetics is a career path that brings the gap between technology and human anatomy. Prosthetic careers are a very big field. Professions include prosthetics, researchers, medical professionals, and engineers, such as biomedical, mechanical, electrical, and software engineers. I remember at first when I thought about prosthetics and the other stuff, I was thinking about going into this, but because I was thinking it's mostly biomedical engineering and everything is bio, I didn't choose this path. So they collaborate in combining knowledge of human anatomy, engineering, materials science, and robotics to create prosthetics that stimulate natural movement and functionality. They work to impact the lives of individuals with limb losses, offering them greater mobility, independence, and improved quality of life. While requiring technical knowledge, this field also needs understanding of human experience. They must work closely with patients in order to understand their needs and continuously strive to improve the abilities of bionic limbs. Now let's talk about bionic limb prosthesis. So it tries to mimic natural movement. Modern prosthetics may be called smart prosthetics, which use touch sensors, microprocessors, and electric motors. First, these are bionic and bioelectric prosthetics. So the development of bionic limb prosthetics has been a remarkable achievement in the realm of medical technology. The way this prosthesis work is pretty simple to explain, which is that sensitive electrodes are installed in a sleeve that is attached to the correct muscles of the limb. When the owner plans to do some action, those sensors transmit his desire to the special processors, so that already converts everything into movements. These devices enable users to perform complex tasks, such as grasping objects and walking with more smoothness than ever before. Then goes sensory feedback. Getting sensors into bionic limbs prostheses has been a recent focus of prosthesis specialists. By connecting prosthetic limbs to the user's nervous system, researchers try to restore people's sense of touch, enable individuals to feel temperature, texture, and even pressure, while improving the functionality of the prostheses. This development also improves the user's overall quality of life, as it draws the gap between the lost limb and the person who lost this limb using technology and prosthesis. So, aesthetic enhancement. Advancement in materials and design have allowed prosthetic limbs to resemble natural body parts in both form and appearance. This improves the self-esteem and confidence of users, as well as helps in the integration of the prosthesis into daily lives. A lot of people who now use prosthesis lost their limbs in certain situations, which means that they know what it feels like to have an arm or a leg. The closer that certain prosthetic limb looks and has the form of the lost limb, the easier the transaction for the user from having a natural limb to losing that limb and back to having the bionic prosthetic limb. Now let's take a look at Esper Bionics. So Esper Bionics was a Ukrainian startup back in 2020. In 2022, it was ranked as one of the best inventions of 2022 in the Times magazine. The company focuses completely on bionic hands. They decided to do hands because there were many functions needed for it, and it wasn't as advanced as leg prosthesis at that time. So they decided to help people who doesn't have their arms. So the goal of Esper Bionic Hand are to restore all the natural functions a real human hand has, along with the design which will look completely like a natural human limb. Such an invention requires a precise study of a hand and arm anatomy to understand what muscles are involved in each separate hand movement, such as moving each separate finger, clenching a fist, holding or lifting something, and so on. They must consider factors such as the lightness of the bionic device, so it won't be heavy to bear for the user, and that it feels like a real hand. At the same time, they need to construct and program it strong enough to lift, pull, and to push objects, which is also an important factor when making a hand able to function close to that of a real human hand. So they use Esper Control, which is a non-invasive electromyography-based brain-computer interface. This means that everything a user should do is to attach the thumb socket with Esper hand to the limb. This socket is made with Esper Control that tracks muscles activities, analyzes muscle activities, and then the system simply translates all of these activities into signals of precise hand motions. According to Esper Bionics, their bionic hand has 24 sensors that detect and process the movement of 20 muscles in the forearm to activate the action in hand. Such a system makes improvement in faster activation and hand control, and makes hand usage more efficient and less tiring. Image on the right shows the look through the hand, indicating sensors and structure of Esper Bionics hand. And it also represents how the sleeve gets attached to the user's hand, along with indicating muscles and nerve tension and slight activities. As you can see, like some redness and blue lines over there. Now let's watch the latest video of Esper Bionics presentation of an arm and how it works. So here's a comment of one of the users left a few days ago. As we can see, it's not perfect with the opening and closing sensors, but this device is still constantly under revision and improvement. And overall, we can say that this user likes this hand. You can pause the video and read the whole comment if you want, but we will move on. So Esper Bionics team currently cooperates with the Protest Foundation, which is a foundation dedicated to helping Ukrainians struggling with limb loss, particularly due to the ongoing war, while extending their support to children and civilians affected by the war. The foundation mostly focuses on assisting soldiers who have bravely sacrificed their limbs in the battle against Russia. So this picture, over here, is actually from that foundation with all the soldiers. As you can see, there some of them don't have their hands, some of them don't have their legs. So the collaborative efforts of organizations supported by the foundation's network of partners, including Esper Bionic team, to ensure vital fundings and provision of prosthetic solutions for those in need. Moving on to bionic leg prostheses. Same as bionic hand prostheses, leg prostheses incorporate sophisticated technology, including sensors, microprocessors, and sometimes even neural interfaces, which help to enable a range of movements and functionalities. They try to provide users with a more natural walk, improved stability, and increased mobility. Some prostheses will even have small motors, which will drive the movement, giving a user the ability to walk, run, or even climb. The important thing to remember while making a prosthetic leg is material, as it needs to be lightweighted and durable. At the same time, so that a person will be able to have it on daily, and so the device will be strong enough to bear the weight of the person. More advanced prostheses will even have powered ankles and knees to replicate the natural movements of ankle and knees joint, which improve posture. Most leg prostheses for sports involving running will have mount prosthetic feet, as they are more secure, stable, and efficient for athletic activities. I would say that these prostheses look kind of like, I don't know, cat's legs. Maybe that's why it's faster and easier. So this picture shows the structure of such running prosthetic leg. These prosthetics have made significant investment, offering users greater mobility and a more natural walking experience compared to traditional prosthetics. They continue to evolve with ongoing technological innovations and improvements, aiming to enhance the quality of life for individuals with limb loss. Lastly, let's take a look at bionic eye prosthesis. So its goal is, of course, to restore vision. The development of bionic eye prosthesis represents a unique set of challenges because of the complexity of the human eye. However, researchers made significant steps in this innovation. Retinal implants and visual prosthetics are still in development to restore vision to individuals who are blind or visually impaired. These devices work by stimulating the remaining healthy cells in the retina or bypassing damaged components to send visual information directly to the brain. Currently, the bionic eye doesn't restore normal vision, but it helps blind people receive light and reflections of light, which is already good. One of the first prototypes of the bionic eye and the system of its retinal implant is shown in the picture, which is the image of a prototype of the retinal implant system with antenna around the eye and small electronics package. So what are the challenges and future directions? While bionic eye prosthetics hold great promise, they are very challenging as in many other developments. The main issues that need to be resolved are such as resolution of vision, longevity, and the development of systems that can be safely integrated into the human body. Yet continued research and development in this field most likely will lead to significant breakthroughs soon. Bionic eyes are implanted to replace natural eyes. So the types of technology used for such eye depend on the specific eye prototype, as there are many different types based on individual problems. The exploration of bionic eyes continues along with the growth of technological improvements and changes. This led to creation of various lens prototypes and to many options available for different bionic eyes. It will result in bionic eye options for a variety of causes of vision loss in the future, which will be really helpful. Also, this is a new technology. It promises that it may result in the restoration of sight for people who may deal with permanent vision loss without such innovation. So now let's summarize everything. The evolution of bionic prostheses has brought us closer to bridging the gap between technology and human anatomy. Bionic limb prostheses have made great improvements in replicating natural movements, sensory feedback, and aesthetics, improving the lives of those who have lost limbs. The development of bionic eye prostheses offers hope for individuals with visual impairments. Also, there are challenges to overcome. As technology continually advances, the prospects for further improvement of the functionality and aesthetic of bionic prosthetics are promising. So currently, prosthetics teams are mainly working on restoring physical capabilities, along with working on restoring the sensory experiences of humans with a lack of different body parts. This can be claimed to be the forefront of scientific and engineering innovations of our time. In the future, we may witness the development of even more sophisticated bionic prosthetics, which bring us closer to real prosthetic devices that closely resemble and function like natural body parts, further improving the quality of life for individuals with limb loss and sensory impairments. It's even possible that some prosthetics will even be more advanced than natural human body parts, same as like some robots at the moment. So what are the possibilities of the future? Like what will be like next? I will say it's Neuralink. I'm sure most of you know about it. So Neuralink company launched by Elon Musk in 2016 tries to develop an advanced brain-computer interface technology which abbreviates as BCI. Their main goal is to make a chip that will connect the human brain and computer systems. Most people were very urgently opposing this invention, and I was probably one of them, because they were like being afraid of the risk it will cause. Journalists even posted articles titled "Elon Musk wants to merge humans with AI. How many brains will be damaged along the way?" So they warn people about the unneeded risks it will bring. And this technology is still developing, and there are no guarantees whether it will succeed or fail. Yet, if it succeeds, it may improve prostheses by directly connecting human prostheses to their brains through those chips. Then the phrase "prostheses can be controlled by the power of thought" will be a reality. So thanks everyone for watching this presentation. Have a great rest of your day.